Hi guys, today we're gonna pasteurize some fruit. I brewed a wheat beer for about 2 weeks and it has been fermenting with wild yeast. The wild yeast was from my ginger bug beer. Actually, I have to put up the video about that beer. I have that in the keg, so I should have to follow up on that beer as well. The wheat beer was Pilsner malt, wheat malt. I added some oats and some carapils, and it has fermented down to 003 in a couple of days. But I let it sit for a few more days. It has been fermented at 23 Celsius. So in this pot we have 5 kilos of raspberry. We're gonna take this up to 62 Celsius and then we're gonna let that sit for half an hour. Besides that, I got a note from Schenker today, so it seems like my beer mail from Hapless is ready to pick up. That's always exciting with beer mail. I won't be entering the 1 liter Hapless Chug contest because I know I suck at it. I don't drink beer that way. I hope and really think we will see Hapless do weirder stuff than that with his big new shiny glass. It's a good idea to use frozen fruit berries because it breaks up the cell membrane. I did not add any water to this. As you see, you don't need to. At least not with raspberry. It smells fantastic. I think this will be a very nice brew. The beer isn't that sour, actually. It's a wild yeast that I have fed up from ginger, organic ginger, so I haven't actually have a clue of the bacteria and yeast. But the first beer, the ginger bug beer, it didn't have any ginger in it. It was just standard beer fermented with the ginger bug I made. This beer had very small amounts of hops, some sass hops that have been left in an open bag, so it will oxidate, and I added hops to get the bitterness of about 4 or 5 IBUs, so the hops shouldn't affect the bacteria as much. We're at 14 now. We're gonna take this up to 72. The beer is still in primary, and my idea was just to chug that in the primary to start a secondary fermentation. It should work just fine. Of course, it's gonna be a mess in there with all that. So I have to use my auto siphon filter trick, the trick I made for siphoning out beers from whole hop dry hop beers. I can put a link to that video as well. And Big Banana Brewing will ensure you that my filter works as a charm and costs you more or less nothing. You don't want to see me filming this for 45 minutes, so I get back to you when we have something new to report. After we hit 72 C, we're gonna keep it at that temp for about 30 minutes, I think, and then I'm gonna cool it down a bit before adding it to the fermenter. Cheers. We're a bit over 72 now. Now we're gonna let this sit for 30 minutes. Time's up. Still over 72. So now we're gonna shield that down in the sink. I'm gonna start with some cold water. I have my own well, so this is really cold water, about 8 degrees Celsius. Then we will also add some ice clamps to this. That may not be the right English words. Ice packs. Please fill me in on the right word. So the ice clamps are there surrounding the pot. If that's actually a word, as I said, let me know. Down to 64. This gonna take a while, this method. Okay, let's start by pouring up homebrew. This is an American wheat. Got quite a head there. I guess I should have poured up just the top before pouring it, but it will settle down in a minute or two. Hazy. Actually a little too yellow for my taste or for my plan of this beer. This will be another project to brew almost white beer. Okay, let's do this. In here we have the brew. We have this is my heating chamber. We have a fan down here. And in here we have about 22 degrees right now. So we're gonna pick this out. I have about 23 liters in here now. Hope we will fit the berries. We should, but we might get an explosion when the second fermentation starts. If that's the case, we're gonna have to hook up a blow-off tube instead of this. So I kept this outside while I was rigging the cameras and stuff up, so it has chilled down a little bit further. Here's the beer, and here's the raspberry. So now we're just gonna pour the raspberry in the beer. The raspberry are in, and we have still a few liters of headspace. I'm gonna put the lid back on. I'll spray it down with some star sand. We're gonna put this back in the heat chamber. So the beer are back in the heat chamber. I think we have to sit here for another 4 weeks. Good morning. This is the morning after adding the fruit. So let's open up the chamber and see if we got any reaction to the fruit. Yes. Yeah, we got action. We have started a secondary fermentation. That was that. DrHans out. Cheers.